Good morning, everybody. Thank you for your patience in the hallway. We can go ahead and probably do roll call. All right. Kavanaugh. Corbin.
Here.
Cunningham.
Here.
Davio.
Here.
During. Here. Henderson. Here. Jones is absent. Kinville is absent. Pinard.
Here.
Rieger.
Here.
Reuter.
Here.
Roberts.
Here.
Schwartz.
Here.
Stepanski is absent. Stokes. Vosberg.
Here.
Walrod.
Here.
Wicks.
Here.
Wynn.
Here.
1,359 votes present.
Are there any corrections to the June 10th meeting minutes?
And second and third. Our special meeting minutes. We got to do 3 meetings today, June 2nd, June 3rd, and June 10th.
Okay. Of all of those meeting minutes, is there any modifications? Okay. Motion to approve. Greg, Evan, all in favor? Opposed? Carried. All right. Public hearing. Is there anybody signed in to talk on the agenda items for today's meeting?
I know there's a gentleman who wants to speak second.
We have somebody else speak us.
Yep. That's okay. We'll do him second.
Is there another one?
Yep. Samantha will have you come on after the fact, okay? Thank you.
All right. Proclamation, Bob Mascari.
Good morning, everybody. There is a saying in Italian that goes, if anybody can really speak Italian, don't mind that I'm butchering it, but it's anche se invera a bella storia, which basically translates to, even if it's true, it's a good story. So I have a great story that also happens to be true. In order to tell you this story, I'm going to ask Dr. Francis McHugh to come up, and Bill Leverich and Mary Beth Elbro and Paul Clapper from our office. They don't know this. They're about to find out. Who says big mouth Italian Irish guys can't keep a secret? So you know the characters. This here is my good friend Bill Leverich. He was a victim in a case. I really like him because he's also a Buffalo Bills fan, right?
Yes.
There you go. Dr. Francis McHugh took upon himself to really help Bill out a lot. Mary Beth Elbro, our executive and office manager, and Paul Clapper, our part-time investigator at our office. So this is a proclamation for you to hear today, recognizing the extraordinary efforts of Dr. Francis McHugh, DA investigator Paul Clapper, and DA confidential secretary Mary Beth Elbro. Whereas the Madison County Board of Supervisors does recognize outstanding achievements by groups, organizations, and individuals in Madison County, and whereas just before the death of his mother, and being incapable of handling his own finances, William Leverich was approached by his neighbor Leslie Reed about opening a bank account with her to help him pay his bills and to handle his finances, which was ultimately done on or about January 11th of 2023 by opening an account at Americu in the city of Oneida by depositing $21,216 of IRA money. You probably have a feeling about what's going to happen. Whereas by November 2023, Mr. Leverich's power had been shut off and he had received an eviction notice. Believing that Leslie Reed had been paying these bills, Mr. Leverich walked from his Cazenovia home to the Cefu in the city of Oneida, where he learned that his account had been drained and that no money was left in his account. And whereas Dr. Francis McHugh, DDS, learning of the situation involving Mr. Leverich, became an advocate for Bill and contacted the Madison County Sheriff's Office, which led to an investigation culminating in the June 12, 2024 arrest of Leslie Reed from stealing from William Leverage. And whereas thereafter, District Attorney Confidential Secretary Mary Beth Elbro spent countless hours in contact with Dr. McHugh and Mr. Leverage, keeping them informed of the status of the case, providing them with needed documents, and gathering additional information from them. And for Supervisor Walrod's information, this is the Reader's Digest version. Whereas thereafter, with her attorney, Ms. Reed came into the district attorney's office armed with spreadsheets and receipts to show that all of the expenditures of Mr. Leverage's funds were legitimate and that she was innocent of all charges. And whereas thereafter, District Attorney Investigator Paul Clapper took it upon himself to focus on the alleged purchase of a van for Mr. Leverage by Ms. Reed for $7,500, for which a receipt was presented. Through several weeks of intensive investigation, with hours of visits to various addresses and businesses in the city of Syracuse, Investigator Clapper was able to prove with documentary evidence that the receipt was a forgery, that Ms. Reed had actually purchased the van for $500 and then resold it to Mr. Leverage for $7,500. And whereas a result of the efforts of Dr. McHugh, Mary Beth Elbro, and Paul Clapper, Leslie Reed pled guilty to her theft on June 5, 2025, before the Honorable Michael G. St. Ledger, Madison County Judge, at which time Ms. Reed presented a certified check to Mr. Leverage for $20,000, representing the full amount of money shown to be stolen by her. As a happy coincidence, what was June 5th, 2025?
My birthday.
It was his birthday. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Madison County Board of Supervisors recognizes the extraordinary actions and public service performed by Dr. Francis McHugh, Confidential Secretary Mary Beth Elbro, and Investigator Paul Clapper, and extends its heartfelt and sincere thanks for their actions in securing justice for William Leverage. And be it further resolved that Dr. Francis McHugh, Confidential Secretary Mary Beth Elbro, and Investigator Paul Clapper receive a copy of this proclamation as a memento of their extraordinary actions in securing justice for Bill Leverage, signed by James J. Cunningham, Chairman, Madison County Board of Supervisors. This was tremendous work, folks, I'm telling you. And I will only add this. Thank you for doing this proclamation. It's well deserved for these folks. Bill Leverage is a great guy, and I don't know what would have happened to him without the efforts of these three people. And you see, every once in a while, all that money you give us really goes to a good purpose. So thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Resolutions of appreciation.
Yep, we're going to begin next with our resolution of appreciation, retiree recognition. This is Pete Walrod, Chairman, Government Operations Committee.
Mr. Chairman, move this resolution for adoption.
Rex, second. All in favor, say aye.
Don't talk to me.
Opposed? Carried.
All right. At this time, can we have Dawn Hewitt from our Department of Social Services recognize her for 32 years of service? If Jessica Prevost, our DSS Commissioner, can step forward along with Mary Kavanaugh, our Health and Human Services Committee Chair.
Good morning. As a favor to Dawn, I'm going to keep this really short and really sweet because I know that's exactly what she would want. I'm sure she's feeling a little uncomfortable right now. But I am truly honored to be able to be the one up here to congratulate Dawn on her 32 years of working with us. And I've worked with her pretty much side by side for the past 24 years. So it's been truly a pleasure. Dawn is a jack of all trades. She's had many responsibilities over the years, one of which was supervising the clerical staff child welfare unit. And that has a lot of challenges with the calls coming in every day and the work being done. And she's also been the primary person responsible for payments, reimbursements, funding for all of our foster kids. And that is a challenge every single day, also working with the state to get reimbursements and fundings and that. Dawn is someone who has never shied away from a challenge. She tackles every single one of them head on. And you can bet that she will always come out on top. I don't care what challenge she's facing, my money's on Dawn. She's going to win. You never have to wonder or guess what Dawn is thinking because she'll be the first one to tell you. And if she doesn't tell you, you'll see it on her face. So that kind of honesty and transparency is really valuable. And it's one of my favorite things about Dawn. Dawn is dedicated, she's determined, and we're really, really going to miss her. Thank you, Dawn.
I would just like to say that I wish when I started working for Madison County 32 years ago, that I had documented phone conversations that I've had with other agencies, the public, on how they would much rather work with Madison County than any other county in the state, because you all are so much more helpful, so much more polite, and it has been my honor. You should all be proud of that, by the way. It's been my honor to work with Madison County for 32 years. I thank you for the opportunity, and now it's time for new challenges, so love you, bye.
Mhm. Next, we'll have Danny Claus Jr. out of our Highway Department. We're celebrating 30 years of service. If Joe Wazinski, our Highway Superintendent, can come up as well, along with Lauren Corbin, our Highway Buildings and Grounds Chairman. Why is he on the Commissioner of Highway Department? We're gonna have to correct our resolution. He's in our facilities. I apologize, John. Thank you. Are you prepared, Joe?
30 years of hard work, dedication, and quiet reliability. Danny Claus, you leave behind more than just the well-maintained buildings. You leave a lasting impact on everyone who worked with you. Thank you for always being there when someone needed fixing, for your steady presence, and for your pride you took in every task. Enjoy your well-earned retirement. You greatly will be missed.
I sincerely apologize. We'll make sure all of that's correct. Next, we have our retiree is Bill Gaber, our district attorney. We're going to have Bob come back up and say a few words on his behalf.
Sorry, Pete.
I already apologized to him once, twice. I feel like one of those guys accepting the Nobel Peace Prize for somebody in custody in another country. We tried very hard, both me and the rest of our staff who's here today, to get Bill to come over himself, and he absolutely refused. So our staff is here, and they've kind of pointed out this is like being at work. We're working and Bill's not here, which isn't really true. Supervisor Davio, did you ever officiate or play basketball with Mr. Gaber? Then you would know how competitive Mr. Gaber is. And I guess the best way to phrase it is that Mr. Gaber never saw a shot that he didn't like or he didn't think he could make. And he would shoot if he was hot, and if he wasn't hot, he would shoot till he got hot. But that's what made him a great player, true? And he brought those types of qualities to our office. but his difference between competitiveness and how he handled himself in the office is night and day. For example, early on, he would recruit some of us to go out and play in a captain and crew with him. And you didn't just have to be as good as him, you had to be better than him, or you never got invited a second time. But in the office, can you imagine an attorney or a district attorney who doesn't like attention? But that's Bill. You know, he sends me over here most of the time because he doesn't want to have to put himself out there. I don't know why it is, but in the office, he always preached the integrity of our office. We never cut a corner. We never played hide the ball. He wasn't afraid, even though, if you understand the term, he was a Luddite, you know, the people who tried to break the machinery during the Industrial Revolution. He allowed us to go paperless, supported it, and made us one of the leaders in New York State in that whole process in the use of technology for discovery purposes. He gave people tremendous discretion to just use their judgment, and he wouldn't second guess you. He might sometimes say, I wouldn't do it like that again, but it was always a personal conversation between you and him. I cannot imagine a better person to have worked for. We got used to some of his idiosyncrasies, like for years when he called me big guy, I thought it was a shot until I realized he called everybody, including like Mary Beth, big guy at some point. And if you ever shook hands with Bill Gaber, at least a certain handshake he had, you will never forget it. And you still probably will feel like you need to wash your hand. But we won't reenact that. He was a tremendous person to work for. His service to Madison County, although 16 years on this, was actually 20 years, because for 4 years under Neil Rose, he was an assistant district attorney. Took some time off and came back to be district attorney since 16 years as district attorney, and he's decided to retire. To me, the good news is, as much as he's going to be missed in his role as DA, I think, as you know, the first thing that's going to happen on August 1st, he's going to continue to be a part-time district attorney, for which we are exceedingly grateful. The other thing, he said to me, he wants no retirement party, he wants no nothing. So I said, well, what are we going to do? He goes, well, on July 31st, I'm going to the Brewster at 6:30, if anybody wants to join me at the bar for a drink. So I'm inviting all of you. July 31st, 6:30, Brewster at the bar. I'll buy you a drink. Thank you, folks.
Thank you so much, Bob. Okay, moving on to the preferred agenda.
Yep, we're going to begin with our Government Operations Committee. We have resolutions 2 through 9 in your packet. Pete, if you want to take it away.
Microphone. So we did hear of some extra effort from we had some weather events on the day of the primaries. We heard some extra events from the effort from the Board of Elections to make sure that they got the election up and running and everybody could vote. And we heard from Mary Eggers that actually went and saved the van as it was in risk of flooding. So that was quite interesting. We did from HR, you're going to hear the New York State is going to be working to improve and streamline the civil service process. HR will continue to push that out when we get it to our municipalities, but it should help us with much of our hiring. And there's Paul Lutwak did another fine job of negotiating. We increased the bandwidth from Spectrum for the county internet and decreased the cost of doing so. That's what I've got for today. There's one other resolution that has 4 employees in the county clerk's DMV for the county clerk, and that was just trying to address the continued workload and in the foreseeable future, and continue that our Madison County DMV stays on top.
Thank you, Pete. Can I have a second? or motion? You're gonna make a motion to
Yeah.
move these forward?
Motion, I'll move these resolutions for adoption.
Can I have a second? Kyle? Discussion? Roll call, please.
Davio,
Yes.
Daring. Aye. Henderson,
Aye.
Jones and Kinville are both absent. Bernard,
Aye.
Rieger,
Aye.
Reuter, Roberts,
Aye.
Schwartz.
Yes.
Stepanski is absent. Stokes, Fosberg,
Yes.
Walrod,
Aye.
Wicks.
Yes.
Wynn, Kavanaugh,
Aye.
Corbin,
Yes.
Cunningham.
Aye.
1,359 votes in favor. Next, we're going to go to our Finance, Ways and Means Preferred Agenda items. This is resolutions 10 through 14 in your packet. Matt Roberts, Chairman, Finance, Ways and Means.
Good morning. The first two are budget mods. One's a lateral transfer in the sheriff's office. And the second one is to continue to staff the best DMV in the United States. Mr. Kevel has been doing a fabulous job. We've got some, let's see, continuing some agreements for lien and tax title service, search services, because we're going to have a tax foreclosure auction in mid-July. The rest are for mortgage recording taxes and extending the tax on real estate transfers. Regarding taxes, this is not in the resolutions, but our sales tax receipts are 8% above last year. We're hoping that that continues. There's probably going to be some things that come down the pike next year that we're going to have to spend that money on that we don't plan on. But that's it for all of the resolutions in finance. Mr. Chairman, I move these resolutions for adoption.
Can I have a second, Melissa? Discussion? Roll call, please.
Daring. Aye. Henderson,
Aye.
Jones and Kinville are both absent. Bernard,
Aye.
Rieger.
Aye.
Reuter.
Aye.
Roberts.
Aye.
Schwartz.
Yes.
Stepanski is absent. Stokes. Fosberg.
Yes.
Walrod.
Aye.
Wicks.
Yes.
Wynn.
Yes.
Kavanaugh.
Aye.
Corbin.
Yes.
Cunningham.
Yes.
Davio.
Yes.
1,359 votes in favor. Next, we have our Health and Human Services Committee resolutions 15 through 18. This is Mary Kavanaugh, Chairwoman.
Good morning, everybody. I've got 4 resolutions. The first one is for a 100% grant-funded position to place a mental health crisis worker at the City of Oneida Police Department. They had trialed it on a weekly basis last year, found it very beneficial. So now we will have a full-time position there. The second one is to terminate an agreement with a clinic that will be closing. The third is for a student loan repayment program, which is for employees to pay off their loans, and they will be committed to stay with us, working for us for 3 years, which is great for retention purposes. And the fourth one is an extension for the mental health clinic at Morrisville Eaton Central School District as their contract is expiring. So, Mr. Chairman, I move these resolutions for adoption.
Thank you, Mary. Can I have a second? Brandy? Discussion? Roll call, please.
Henderson,
Aye.
Jones and Kinville are absent. Bernard,
Aye.
Rieger.
Aye.
Reuter. Roberts.
Aye.
Schwartz.
Yes.
Stepanski is absent. Stokes. Fosberg.
Yes.
Walrod.
Aye.
Wicks.
Yes.
Wynn.
Yes.
Kavanaugh.
Aye.
Corbin.
Yes.
Cunningham.
Yes.
Davio.
Yes.
Daring.
Aye.
1,359 votes in favor. Next, we have our Criminal Justice Public Safety Committee resolutions. This is 19 through 23 in your packet. Rex Vosberg, Chairman.
I have a total of 5 resolutions, 2 involving special patrol officers, one in the Sherburne Earlville Central School District, and the other one in Stockbridge Valley Central School District. Modification agreement with Wanderers Rest Humane Association. The next one is agreement with Onondaga Cortland Madison BOCES that involves the fire training and EMS training up at the training center. And the last one is the town of Georgetown is giving back $23,000 $360. They're not taking that money to help support the EMS program in their community. Mr. Chairman, I move these resolutions for adoption.
Can I have a second? Joe? Discussion? Roll call, please.
Pinard,
Aye.
Rieger,
Aye.
Reuter, Roberts, Schwartz,
Yes.
Stokes, Bossberg,
Yes.
Walrod,
Aye.
Wicks,
Yes.
Wynn,
Yes.
Kavanaugh,
Aye.
Corbin,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Davio,
Yes.
During,
Aye.
Henderson.
Aye.
Jones and Kidville both absent. This is 1,359 votes in favor. We have our Highway Buildings and Grounds Committee resolutions, number 24 through 26 in your packet. This is Lauren Corbin, Chairman.
We had one resolution to modify an agreement with Versalia for the remote weather station. We terminated an agreement with Town and County Bridge and Rail Incorporated. We had surplus sales for a Silverado, a sweeper, and a chipper. And we also were introduced under facilities with a new deputy director of facilities, TJ Curtis. So we got to meet him. And the July 23rd meeting will be at the Brookfield or the Madison County Fairgrounds with a ribbon cutting at the fair at noon. And that's it. I move these resolutions for adoption.
Thank you, Lauren. Can I have a second? Greg? Discussion? Roll call, please.
Rieger,
Aye.
Reuter, Roberts, Schwartz,
Yes.
Stefanski's absent. Stokes, Bossberg,
Yes.
Walrod,
Aye.
Wicks,
Yes.
Wynn, Kavanaugh,
Aye.
Corbin,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Davio,
Yes.
During,
Aye.
Henderson,
Aye.
Jones and Kinville both absent. Pinard,
Aye.
1,359 votes in favor. You want to go through planning and solid waste first, or you want to do regular agenda?
Move on to the regular agenda.
Okay, regular agenda items, resolution number 27 is approving the updated title 6 plan for Madison County. Thank you, Tina. This is Evan Schwartz, Chairman of the Planning Committee, co-signed by Pete Walrod, Chairman GOC.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution for adoption. I can follow up with the planning committee report before or after, whatever you want to do.
You could do it now.
Okay, so we do have a lot going on this summer with the Madison County Fair. As Lauren has mentioned, we also have open farm days, same on Saturday, July 26th. So that's very exciting. And we are going to be holding our Madison County Planning Committee there at the fair on the opening day on July 23rd. So that'll be fun. We'll get a chance to get a bunch of folks out there, and we're looking forward to that. We also have some good news about the broadband project. Syracuse Utilities is out hanging fiber, and the project is moving right along. And then we also have this resolution today before you to approve the updated Title VI plan. I move these resolutions for adoption.
Thank you, Evan. Can I have a second? Joe? Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
We have a resolution number 28 is appointing an acting district attorney. This is Pete Walrod, Chairman GOC.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution for adoption.
Second by Kyle. Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Congratulations, Bob.
Then the last resolution in our packet today, number 29, is creating an assistant district attorney position in the district attorney's office. This is again Pete Walrod, Chairman GOC Committee.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution for adoption.
Can I have a second? Evan? Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
And we want to have Melissa During, our Solid Waste Committee Chair, give a quick update on their committee this month.
Sure. We had Michaela Aney join us at our meeting. She is our new recycling coordinator. We're really happy to have her. She's been with us for probably 3-4 years. So it's great to see her step up, and we get to see her every month. New York State DEC came out and took some drone footage of our landfill operations to showcase how we run day-to-day operations and utilize Onondaga County's ash as cover material. They also interviewed Greg, and the Madison County Landfill Program is going to be recognized at the state level. Greg also presented to the New York State County administrators at Delphi Falls. We had discussions on the storm damage and how we are working with towns needing to dispose of flood debris and evaluating how to best proceed. And we were reiterating the utilization of yard waste punch cards for any organic materials such as trees, limbs, anything like that. Then we were presented by the Solid Waste Technical Committee, and they gave us a little update, which they will be giving to the entire board in our September meeting. That's what I have for an update. And we also we have to say happy birthday to Tina too. Tina, would you like us all to sing?
No. That's okay.
Okay, so second public comment period. Is there anyone? I think there's Samantha Dart.
Samantha's going to do a quick presentation. Do you want to have Warren go first? Because he's a resident.
No, let her do that, and then we'll go with Warren.
Good afternoon, Madison County Board of Supervisors, and thank you for the opportunity to speak today. My name is Samantha Dart, and I'm the Community Engagement Lead for Bridges Tobacco Control Program. I want to take a moment to remind the Board of Supervisors what services our tobacco control program offers. We work with schools, community organizations, and local institutions to increase awareness about the impact of tobacco and nicotine products on our communities in Herkimer, Oneida, and of course, Madison counties. We also assist with policy education, tobacco-free resources for businesses and organizations, and youth prevention efforts. One key piece of information that I'd like to bring to attention is the number of tobacco and vape retailers in Madison County. There are currently 52 registered tobacco and vape retailers operating in the county. To put this number of retailers in perspective, in Madison County, there are 12 ice cream shops, 4 McDonald's, and 2 movie theaters. That means there are 3 times more tobacco retailers than ice cream shops, McDonald's, and movie theaters combined in Madison County. Tobacco products are highly available, accessible, and visible to community members, especially to our youth. Density matters. Research consistently shows that a higher number of retailers is linked to higher smoking rates, more youth exposure, and a lower likelihood of cessation attempts. Many of these stores are located near schools and neighborhoods where young people are exposed to aggressive marketing of flavored and high nicotine products, such as vapes, which are designed to appeal to them. Counties and municipalities do have the authority to adopt local ordinances that are often stricter than state or federal laws regarding tobacco sales. These ordinances can cover various aspects of tobacco retail. That includes licensing agreements, location restrictions, for example, location of retailers near schools or youth center buildings, and also enforcement mechanisms. Across New York State, some municipalities and county legislators have a range of strategies to assess and manage the impact of these tobacco retailers, especially the density. For example, some have looked at zoning approaches or licensing systems to guide how these products are sold and where they're located. One local example includes the village of Dodgeville. They did implement a retail licensing a retail licensing policy to help address these issues and problems in their community. Another way we at Bridges support local leaders and community members in Madison County is by providing tobacco-free signages to businesses, organizations, and even municipalities who have established tobacco-free policies or smoke-free policies. These signs serve as visual reminders of local tobacco-free policies and help reinforce community norms that discourage tobacco use, vaping, nicotine pouches. It displays clear, concise, consistent displaying clear, consistent signage is an effective low-cost strategy, and it helps promote compliance with these policies. If there are no signs, we don't know what those policies are. Madison County currently does have a policy in place which prohibits tobacco and vape use on county-owned properties. That includes parks and building grounds. However, it's important to note that individual municipalities do have the authority to establish additional policies that go beyond the counties. That includes expanding tobacco-free zones to include village parks, recreation areas, and outdoor event spaces. At Bridges, our goal is to support communities by providing data, resources, technical assistance related to youth tobacco prevention and healthier retail environments. We're always available to help community leaders explore evidence-based approaches that align with local goals. I do have folders for supervisors with our tobacco-free sign orders, forms, and just some resources and information if anybody would like to reach out and learn more. Thank you for your time and for your commitment to public health.
Thank you, Samantha. Is there any smoking questions for Samantha? Oh, thank you. Okay, so we have a person signed up. His name is Warren Babcock. Warren, would you like to come forward? Please state your name and your address.
Hello. My name is Warren Babcock. I live on Carpenter Road in actually Sheds, but we have a mailing address of Georgetown. The thing is, I've known about they were going to replace this bridge 2 years ago, 3 years ago. The issue is they gave us the impression that they would put a temporary bridge in. Come to find out, the other day, they put signs up. Nobody notified us. Usually, I thought the procedure was would send out a letter a month ahead of time. Then they'd offer a meeting to let the people know. We got blindsided. We didn't know if the fire company was notified. We didn't know anything about it. I'm bringing this to your attention because Mr. Newman never notified us. Nobody notified us. Our representative of the town didn't know anything about it, according to him. So I'm just letting you know that people are not doing what they should be doing. Because I know this isn't going to help me because they're going to close the bridge Wednesday. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Warren. Okay, so we have one of our featured presentations is the Madison County Workforce Development, Dana Schaefer and Angel Steiner.
You guys can come right up front. We're gonna get your presentation up and then we'll get your little clicker.
have no idea. Can you hear me in the back? Oh, okay. We've had many people tell us that, oh, we didn't know that you did this. Thank you so very much. Angel has a story because we have some lots of really wonderful stories, but she has one in particular.
Yeah. So we'll get more into it as the PowerPoint goes along of what we do and what services we offer. But one of the individuals I've helped over the past, I would say, year and a half, he came into our career center unemployed. He is about, I believe, 18 or 19 years of age. But he had a lot of barriers coming into our center, and one of them was transportation. He had a lot of issues at home, so we decided to work to overcome those barriers with him, and his name was Jonathan. He is employed at Walker Tree Farm now, and with our help of getting him driver's training and overcoming some of those barriers, he is now employed full-time, and he's actually going to pursue his career in landscaping. So we've just fulfilled his career, and now he's on to better opportunities in his life. So yeah, just a nice story of an individual that we've helped. You want to talk a little bit about what we do?
Okay, so we have two separate programs at the Career Center. We have the youth program, the out-of-school youth program. Young people from the ages of 18 to 24 can come in to get help breaking down those barriers that Angel was talking about. Many of the kids come in, they don't have a high school diploma. We have a way of helping them. We have some connections with Madison Oneida BOCES and with Literacy Outreach of Madison County. We can help them achieve that goal, which of course is going to open up more jobs for them. We can offer work experience, youth work experience. It's an OJT type of thing with a company, but the county pays the young person's full wages while they're being trained by the company that they're working for. Driver's training, we can pay for things like CDL, LPN. We help to fund any kinds of in-demand occupations, and there's about 200 of them on the .gov site.
I'll take it over from here. So we put together a little PowerPoint. I didn't want to keep it too long with the presentation, but some of the barriers are obviously like childcare, housing, transportation, criminal convictions. A lot of people can't get jobs if they have misdemeanors, felonies. Healthcare, insurance is a big one. Some of them don't have insurance, and we do overcome those barriers with them. Disability, refer individuals to a lot of services and resources. Access VR is an organization in our career center. We work alongside Dave Roeder, who helps us navigate those individuals as well. And then just a little bit about our ITAs. We help fund a lot of in-demand occupations like Donna was saying. On-the-job training is a very big opportunity for individuals because they can work up to 6 months for an employer and the employer can get paid 50% by Madison County. And then they obviously have to pay the other half, but it's just a very good opportunity for the individual to gain experience, skills to put on their resume for future opportunities. And then, like Donna was saying, you want to talk about?
Well, the youth work experience, I like to say it provides our young people a career without the college cost, because we know that we need plumbers and electricians and carpenters, et cetera, and they can get a career without any expense whatsoever. Go ahead. You're going to, sorry, you're going to get this flyer on the out-of-school youth. There is a, what do you call it, a requirement that for eligibility for this. There are a number of things, one of which is the young person has a disability, or they're parenting, or they're a high school dropout. Not every youth is eligible.
With that being said, if they're not eligible for our out-of-school youth program, they'd be eligible for our adult program, which is serving the ages over the 18, and so on. And that program is very similar. We're not going to get too deep into it because it's very, very similar to the youth program, but we just cover all ages, not just youth. And then the summer youth employment program is actually something that's going on right now. We have about 52 individuals working on county parks and just different places that need the help over the summer. And they work 4 weeks. They get to work alongside BOCES supervisors, and they get paid to do this work. So we've had a lot of great comments at the end of the program stating that the kids really enjoyed doing the work. So
one of the big advantages of the summer youth employment program is that we can hire 14 to 20-year-olds. Not many 14 and 15-year-olds can get jobs in the summer. It gives them a resume start. It gives them the money that they need to buy the sneakers that everybody else in school has that they may not be able to afford. It gives them the soft skills. You got to show up on time. You got to, et cetera, et cetera. And it's just a really great experience for the kids.
Yeah. That concludes the PowerPoint. So thank you very much.
Any questions?
Thank you, Donna and Angela. Okay, we have one other presentation today. Melissa Davis and Zach Becker, the Regional Economic Development Council. They're here. Zoom.
No, I'm gonna have him present. I'm just gonna say hello. Turn it over. Thank you, everybody. I'm Melissa Davis. I'm with Empire State Development for the Central New York Regional Office. And with me today is Zach Becker, our project originator. He is going to go over our funding opportunities for New York State, primarily towards the municipalities. We thought it would be good to bring it in front of you all, but also there'll be a little bit for what is available to the businesses. So we won't take up much of your time, and we really appreciate you hearing us out today. Okay.
Okay, that sounded like a fire. So I'm just going to go through this. We do have a slideshow up. I'm not very good at reading slides. It bores me. So I'm going to go over them. If there's anything you see in the slides, you can stop me and we can go over any questions. So I'm going to go over the Regional Economic Development Council 2025 initiative. Again, focused on what helps municipalities. So I'm assuming everybody here is somewhat familiar with the Regional Economic Development Councils. That is a council that covers the 5 counties of Central New York, Onondaga, Madison, Cortland, Cayuga, and Oswego. And they kind of have the local input on a number of programs and grants that the state offers throughout the year. I have a list of our county members, regional council members. We do take them from all over the region. We have some from county. Here in Madison County, Kip Hicks, back in the room, is one of your regional council members. We have nonprofits, business entities, elected officials, IDA members, a wide gambit. Real briefly, we kind of focus on these 5 pillars of economic development: our workforce, industry, ecosystems, placemaking, equitable growth, and collaboration. I have a link to our website in here. We have a regional council website. There's one for Central New York specifically, and it has all of our information. One of the key pieces of our information that's not on this slide is our strategic guide for the council or for the region. The council updates that every couple of years on what does the region need, where are we headed, where should we put some emphasis on when we're looking at our programs. All of our applications come through the consolidated funding application. It's an online application. The nice thing about this is you can apply for multiple agencies, multiple programs with one application. It can get long if you have a lot of different programs in there, but overall, it is the quickest way to do an application, and a lot easier than other forms of grant writing that you may be exposed to. On the bottom of this website, we do have links to additional information, including write-ups on all the programs available through the consolidated funding application, as well as webinars by both ESD, as well as all the other agencies involved, whether it's Department of State, DEC, EFC, all the acronyms that the state likes to put together for you guys. The CFA, again, the Consolidated Funding Application, has 2 avenues for our programs. We have some that are very rigid in their timeline. They have a deadline of the end of this month, July 31st at 4 p.m. Our application process, the online portal for the application will shut down at 4 p.m. So if any of you guys know somebody going through this process, if you're looking at some state dollars through this process, please get your application in before that deadline. I usually say 2, 3, 4 days ahead of time. There are some programs in there that are open enrollment. Again, the program does shut down for a day or two for maintenance at the 31st, but it'll open back up. You can resume your application. Those programs go year round until the funds have been exhausted. And you can't see it here, but it is broken up by our agencies and by open enrollment and non-open enrollment. We do have, the regional council does actually have a scoring component, unlike some other advisory councils. They have a 20% scoring on all the applications, and then the state agencies do a technical assessment and review that covers the rest of the 80% of that scoring. So I'm going to go over a couple ESD programs. The first one is our Regional Council Capital Fund. That's kind of our flexible fund. That's the one where we can fit as many program businesses, entities, organizations as we can. It is open to everybody. Anything that's nonprofit, municipalities, businesses, for-profits, you name it, pretty much they can apply in here. It is a capital program, so we can only fund capital funds, capital initiatives, with a minimum request of $100,000. The minimum request is 100. We do have a maximum of 20% for a program, so really the minimum initiative you could have is a $500,000 initiative. We do have some strategic initiatives within this: childcare, projects in severely distressed communities, and innovative public-private partnerships. These ones are allowed to apply for a little bit more, capped at 40%. The 20% and 40% are the caps. It's very rare to reach a cap through this application process. We only have $60 million, and that's got to cover all of New York State. Important thing for municipalities to know is if you are applying for money through this, you have to be a pro-housing certified community. And we'll get a little more into that in a couple slides. So as I said, it is a capital grant. It can only go over capital programs. We have our costs up here. We do have a strategic planning and feasibility study program available that covers up to 50%. That is for working capital. I don't have a slide for that up here, but that is one a lot of municipalities do take advantage of. Things we can't reimburse you for, including your budget, is retail, residential only programs, medical, hospital, in-kind services, training, and things like that. A couple key things to know about the Regional Council Capital Fund is, again, 20% project max, usually $100,000 minimum award. We do require a cash equity of 10%. Budgets should only include your project overall, what you're applying for. We will require you to hit milestones, so we don't want to have the whole story. If it is a phased project, we need just the phase you're going in for. And one of the most important things is ESD disperses their funds in arrears None of the funds will be given upfront. You'll have to find a way to finance these programs as you're going through them. So we also have a pro housing supply funds program. This is specific to municipalities. We have $100 million across the state. We can fund up to 50% of infrastructure projects that are going to create at least 20 housing units. It can cover anything from roads, sewer, water, broadband, electrical, you name it. If it's infrastructure, we can cover it. Up to 50%. Minimum award is $2.5 million. We are looking for kind of large impact projects. We are looking to create housing. This is kind of our workaround, as ESD is not allowed to fund housing projects. What we're trying to do is fund you guys to make housing projects more feasible in your communities. For this, you have to be a pro housing community. We are allowed 2 projects per community from this fund. A little bit about the pro housing community. I know that last year we did a big push for it. We're doing another big push for it this year. It is pretty much just you saying, I'd like to have more taxpayers in my community. I want people to move here. There's no other requirements than you are creating housing stock, and we need housing stock. We're going to need housing stock for years to come, ranging from apartments to owner occupied, affordable to market rate to luxury housing. All that housing, we're short on the whole spectrum. So for this program for pro housing, we don't tell you what kind of housing. We don't tell you have to change your zoning. You just have to be receptive to housing initiatives, housing projects within your community. So the Regional Economic Development Council does have a number of other agencies. I'm not going to speak on their behalf because I don't know their programs as well as I know ours. But we have Parks, DOS, NYPA, NYSERDA, DEC, Canals Corp. All of them have grant dollars available. Some of them are to businesses, some to nonprofits, and some for municipalities. Actually, quite a lot of these other entities are municipally driven programs. So I do have a couple slides. I'm not going to read them to you because that's going to get real boring, and I know you guys have a schedule. But we'll make sure each of you guys are going to get this slideshow. Yet have it here, so you can kind of take a look through it. Again, all this information is in our resource guide on the CFA website as well as on the Regional Council website. Again, we have Homes and Community Renewal, and they are the ones that are going to manage the pro housing communities application. I know there's quite a few municipalities in Madison County that have already become certified, which is great. Some of you have already applied. We would like to have the whole map covered for the county. Again, it's not a commitment to changing who you are or the fabric of your community. It's all about just saying, I want more people living here. I want more people to grow, have their families here, grow their population. We do have, again, Parks, Recreation, Historic Preservation. We have the Canal Corporation, has $1 million to give away. Again, this is all just stuff we'd like to have everybody access to. The money's going out there, might as well have it come here to Central New York. We do have some other additional resources that are not tied into the consolidated funding application. We have Downtown Revitalization and New York Forward, which I know we've had some awards here in Madison County with Oneida, Chenango, Canastota. We have Fast New York, Power New York. We are in the process of creating a CNY housing fund to help kind of bridge that gap on those housing projects. And again, strategic planning and feasibility studies. Oh, I forgot this slide. I already went over this stuff earlier. Again, pro housing, easy application. Each municipality has to do one of their own. So for instance, the village of DeRuyter can do one, the town of DeRuyter can do one, but the town can't do it for the village. And that's my slideshow. Again, I kind of went through it quick. I know you guys are on a schedule. You guys will have this slide. I have a couple links on here, so when you have the slideshow, you could look through those links if you would like. And I'm open to any questions, or if you want, I can be here when you guys are done with your meeting and be available to talk about any programs you have within your districts. And I have our contact information on there for our Central New York office. 2 of our members are Madison County residents, so we're more than happy to have meetings out here. And yeah, any questions for me now?
You mentioned that the strategic planning, you offer strategic planning in the feasibility
Nope,
study?
so we offer funding for it. We
Funding,
would get a
okay.
third-party contractor.
Okay.
The funding is up to 50%, caps at $100,000. And you could use that again for the strategic planning or feasibility studies within your community.
Okay, thank you.
Would the county be eligible for that as a whole?
Yes.
Okay.
Any further questions? Thank you, Zach. Thank you, Melissa. Appreciate it. One quick note, and it's been 2 centuries since we left this room, and in August, our meeting will be at Delphi Falls. So remember that, and wanted to get that out to the public as well. Is there any other business to come before this board today? No? Okay. I'd like to have a motion to go into executive session for legal and contractual considerations. Pete and Kyle. Okay, all in favor, say aye. Opposed? Carried. We are in executive session.